Hello, welcome to the journey on fractions. This is the first day's lesson. Some of it might be review for you and some of it might be brand new. The objectives of this lesson are that you can use a fraction to show a part of a whole. You can identify the numerator and the denominator, and you can identify proper and improper fractions. First thing, in this part we're going to always be coming back to, a fraction is always part over whole. So make sure you get that in your notes. If that part makes sense to you, the rest of it will fall into place a lot more easily. A fraction is always part over whole. So we're just going to go ahead and label these pictures. There's 3 examples here. And I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to look at how many pieces make up the whole, first of all. So in this first black example here, there are 2 pieces, one here, one here. So that's how many pieces make up the whole. And then how many are colored in? Well, in this case, there's only 1 colored in, so this picture represents 1/2. Along the same lines, on number 2, there are 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3 of them are colored in. So the fraction for the shaded portion would be 3 out of 4. And again, all of these are shaded. You could also write a fraction for the unshaded, but we're just going to do the shaded for now. And then the last example is a little bit trickier because there's more than one whole here. This entire piece is a whole, and this entire piece is a whole. But we're not asking how many pieces are there total. We're asking how many pieces are there that make up a whole. So there are 1, 2, 3. So the denominator is going to be 3. And how many pieces are there? How many parts are colored in? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colored in. So it would be 5/3. Okay, now you might have noticed that I used the word denominator in the last slide, and we'll get to what those mean here right now. The numerator is always the top. So the numerator always represents whatever the part is that's colored in. The denominator is always on the bottom. So it always represents whatever the whole is. So from words, we could have word problems and we can write a fraction as well. Keeping in mind, if we want to write a fraction, we want to write part over whole. So in our math class of 13 students, 8 are girls. So we have 2 numbers right there. What is the fraction of girls? So first I want to identify that 13 is the total and 8 is the part. And it's actually the part that we're looking for as well. So our answer is relatively simple, 8 out of 13. That's the part, that's the whole, so you can just put them in the correct places. Second one is a little bit trickier. Jamie has 2 oranges and 3 apples. What fraction of the fruit is oranges? So the part that we're looking for is the 2 because we're looking for oranges. So that's going to be our part. However, for our whole, 3 is not the whole. 3 is how many apples there are. To find the whole, we need to put those together. There are 5 total pieces of fruit. So the correct answer for this one would be 2 out of 5. Again, part over whole. Okay. Last objective was to distinguish between proper and improper fractions. On a proper fraction, a numerator is always less than the denominator. So in math symbols, it would look like that. So an example would be like 1/2. That's proper fraction. It looks normal, more or less. 3/4 is a proper fraction. Improper, the numerator is always greater than, but it could also be equal to. Equal to. And that would look like that in a math symbol. So now of these examples, I'm going to go ahead and circle in blue any that are proper and circle in red any that are improper. So I would recommend pressing pause and trying this on your own, making sure you've got all these notes down first. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back. Okay, so looking here, proper, you should have circled 4/5 and 121 out of 122. For improper, you should have had 7/6, 10/10, and 122 over 121. 10/10, they are the same, but that is actually improper. Okay, and just some review to make sure that we're getting it all. If there are 6 girl and 11 boy students, what fraction are boy students? So whenever you see the word fraction, you should be thinking part over whole. So I'm going to look, okay, 6 girls and 11 boys. So how much would that be total? Well, I'd have to add those together, so I'd have 17. So that is my denominator, my whole. My numerator should be the part of boy students. So there's 11 boy students, so it will be 11 out of 17. This 6 does not appear in the fraction, and that's okay. Next, we're going to review some fractions from the picture. This is one example, not 2 separate things, one picture. So for the shaded, I again want to count the part over whole. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts shaded. And it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to make a whole. So it would be 5/4. It is improper because it's more than one whole. Unshaded, there would be 1, 2, 3 that are not shaded, and it does still take 4 pieces to make a whole. Again, I recommend pausing the video and trying to do these on your own and then come back and check to see if your answer works. To draw a picture showing 7/4, I'm going to start out drawing a I'm going to do rectangle. You could do circles if you want. But I know that I need 4 pieces, so that will take 3 lines. That will give me 4 pieces, and I can shade those in. That would give me 4 out of 4. But I need to get 7 out of 4, so I'm going to go ahead and add in. Again, I'm still drawing fourths, but now I need to color in 3 more. And that will give me a total of 7/4. If you need to, go ahead and pause again and check your second drawing. This time, I'm going to do circles. I need to show 2/5, so that tells me that my total needs to be cut into 5 pieces. That takes 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, that only gave me 4 pieces. I need to go back and do 1 more. I'll just go ahead and erase that guy. Okay, so I've got 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to need to color in 2 of those. So if it's a proper fraction, we're a little bit more used to that. It's a little bit easier to draw those. Okay, and that should be enough to prepare you for the first practice quest assignment. If you need help, go ahead and log on to the discussion board, post your questions on whatever problem you get stuck on. If you're doing well with this, go ahead and go on there and see if you can help out a fellow classmate.